lower reliability or lower consistency. Yeah? Next thing is now. Okay. So we have talked about the outliers, how if there is outlier, what type of mean can we use, and if we don't want to use mean, in that case we can use median. So we talked about outlier a lot in the previous questions. So this time now we will learn how to find out if there is any outlier in the data. Yeah. So for that we have to do a box plot. Box plot is the tool to find out if there is any outlier in a particular data set, and to find out outlier we have to find out 5 different statistical measures. So those are Q1, Q2, Q3, and using those quartiles we will calculate two other measurements, upper limit and lower limit of a distribution. So from the previous class, try to calculate the 3 quartiles. Okay, did you find the values? First quartile, second quartile, and third quartile?
Yes, ma'am.
তো বলছো না কেন? What's the
Q1
value?
is to 587.
Q1 is?
587.
No. Did you sort the data in ascending order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you sort it, it will be 587, 3, 669, 670. Did anyone else get any other values for quartile, first quartile?
Miss, it'll be 663.
It is 666. Did anyone get 666? So it's a sorted data, and for Q1 the position will be P times N over 100, and the value of P is 25 since it's the 25th quartile, 25th percentile, and the N over here is 332, yeah, 8 and 100, so it's the second value. And if it's an integer, if the position is an integer, then the quartile will be the average of that
Oh,
value
ma'am,
and the
7
next.
will. Eight.
So the second value is 663 from the sorted data, and the
Yeah.
third one is 669. This is 666. Okay. Similarly, you have to find the second and third quartile. Does anyone have the value of second and third quartile?
675.
Yeah, perfect. And Q3?
Miss 694.
709.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
7 9.
yeah. The position for Q3 it's 75, obviously 75th percentile, and it comes the sixth value. Then Q3 will be the average of sixth and the seventh value. And
Yeah, we get 694.
how the sixth value is 699, and the seventh value is 719,
Yes.
and that is 709. How is it 694? I guess you haven't sorted the data. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have any question in Q1, Q2, and Q3, the quartiles? I guess not. Then we will solve the upper and the lower limit now. The calculate the upper and lower limit. The upper and lower limit, these two, this actually give it will give us a range. Yeah, this is the range of a particular distribution. If we are working with this distribution, this is the range of that particular distribution. Now if you have any data value means any data reading that will not be in this range, that will be out of this range, that particular value is our outlier. Okay, so we have to, at first we have to formulate the range, then we have to check whether any value, is there any data value which is not in the range. Okay, so then we can find out the outlier. Now the formula of outlier and upper limit and lower limit, they also comes from the quartiles. So the formula of upper limit is this: Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Here the value 1.5, this is fixed. Okay, this is always, because here we are trying to create an area which is 1.5 times upper than the Q3, and again 1.5 times upper than lower than the Q1. And do you remember what's an IQR? This one?
Interquartile range.
Yeah, it's an interquartile range, which is the difference between Q3 and Q1. And in this case, if we subtract this 2, we will get the IQR as 43. So the upper limit came 773.5, and now you will calculate lower limit, and this is the formula of lower limit. Please calculate the lower limit of this distribution.
Ma'am, at a question.
Yeah.
ইন্টারকোয়ার্টার রেঞ্জ আসছে 43, তো
Hmm.
আউটলায়ার গুলো হবে হচ্ছে যে 587 আর 812, যেটা ওরা রেঞ্জের বাইরে।
Yes, the outliers are 587 and 812. Yeah.
মানে 43 এর মধ্যে থাকতে হবে ডিফারেন্সটা, না?
No, difference না, এই যে এটা হচ্ছে আপার লিমিট, and if you use it you'll get a lower limit. Okay, so এই দুটো মিলে একটা রেঞ্জ হবে, এই রেঞ্জের মধ্যে সব ভ্যালু থাকতে হবে.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
Okay, did anyone calculate the value of lower limit?
601.5.
Yeah, 601.5. If you use the value of Q1 and IQR, you'll get that the value of the lower limit is 601.5. So if we use this, our range is 601.5 and 773.5. This is the lower limit and upper limit. So this is a distribution, the sorted distribution. Obviously you always want the sorted distribution, so it will be easier to look at the outliers. Now can anyone identify the outliers? Outliers will be the value which is not in this range.
587 and 812.
Ma'am, what is the
Perfect.
question?
The question was from this distribution. The question, you're gonna have to find out which values are not in this range. Obviously, there could be some cases all the values are inside the range. So from here, as some of you said that the outlier is this, because we can see from this range 587 is not in this range. Obviously, it's less than 601.5, and also 812, it's not in this range. It's greater than the upper limit, which is 773.5. So these two values, these are outliers in this distribution. Okay, and suppose if these two data values were not in this distribution, so from that we can see that all the data values are inside the distribution, inside the range. In that case, we could say there are no outliers in the data set. Any question?
No, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. So next, we have to use the box plot to show that outlier. So box plot is pretty easy. First, we will take a horizontal line, and this line will show the data values. And our minimum value is 587. So I want to take it from 580. Again, it's up to you how you want to plot your data. Just একটা equal interval এটা plot করেছি. Now first I have to plot the first quartile, which is 666, the first quartile. So here I can see this is 660. So 666 will be just right on the right side of 660. So this is the horizontal line, and this horizontal line corresponds to Q1, which is 666. Make sure the line doesn't touch or doesn't go through this horizontal line. Next, we will plot Q3, which is 709. So this is 700. 709 will be just after 700. So suppose this is 709, showing the data Q3. Now we will add these two horizontal lines. Next, we have to draw the line representing second quartile, which is 675. So suppose it's somewhere here. This is Q2. Okay. Next, we have to plot the upper limit and the lower limit. Lower limit is 601.5. Okay. So now we will draw a horizontal line up to the upper limit, which is 773. So this is 740, then this is 780. So suppose the outlier is somewhere here, upper limit, and the lower limit is 601. So somewhere here, the lower limit. So this is the
580 is the lower, outline.
Outlier, yes. And you have to draw the upper and lower limit, and this is the box plot. This is the box. These are called the whiskers, which shows the upper and lower limit. Next thing is we have to identify the outliers. So the first outlier, as we said, it's 587. So it will be suppose somewhere here above, obviously above 580. So this is the outlier. Just put a star or a dot just to show this is the outlier. Another outlier is 812, so it will be somewhere here. So in this distribution, we have two outliers. Okay, so this is the distribution with an outlier. And if you don't have any outlier, you don't have to show anything, just do the box plot. So any question in box plot?
Ma'am, 580 থেকে নিচে আবার দিয়ে দিতে হবে নাকি ডট?
No, আমি ড্র করছি তো এই জন্য দেখালাম জাস্ট. Okay, no question, I guess. In that case, we will move on to group data. So in the previous questions we had raw data like we did 587, 690, suppose 699. We had raw data like this, and we had a small data set with 6 data values or 8 data values. So when you have small data sets, it makes sense that you work with mean or median or quartiles, because you have a small amount of data set. But when you have a big data set, এখানে আমি just an example দিয়েছি, still it's with 15 data value and it's not big data. Usually data sets with more than 30, they are considered as a big data set. Now since আমরা হাতে কলমে করছি, it's not actually possible to work with more than 30 data values, so I'm working with 15. So when you have more data values and you find out mean quartiles, it's actually very time consuming and not that easy to represent. And again, sometimes it gives you some misguided idea. So when you have a large data set, the thing is, if you work in groups, that will be easier to represent. So you have some raw data values, you have to convert them into different groups, and then you have to find the corresponding findings, some tabular findings, some graphical findings, এগুলো আমরা তখন করতে পারবো। ঠিক আছে? So here we have we have 15 data values showing the scores of 15 students. So first student scored 90, then 87, 57. These are the scores of 15 students. The first question is you have to do a frequency and relative frequency table. So before doing that, we have to put the data in different groups or different classes. First, we will learn that. Okay. So just keep in mind, while putting the raw data values into different classes, your only idea is to record all data values. If you have 15 data values, you have to record all of them. If you have 20 data values, you have to record all of them. একটা value miss করা যাবে না. If you miss one data value, that's not a proper representation. That will be wrong. Yeah. So first thing is you have to identify how many classes will you take to represent your data. Okay. Now again, it's totally up to you. Okay. So তুমি কয়টা নিতে চাও, but it's better if you take more or equal to 4 classes. Otherwise, like if I'm saying you can take any number of classes and you are working with 2 classes, that's not representative enough. All the data values will be clustered together. Okay, এটা কোনো individual কোনো representation করবে না. So আমি নিতে চাচ্ছি 5টা ক্লাস. This is actually the most standard one, 5 classes or multiple of 5, 10, 15 এরকম করে কাজ করাটা ভালো. Next thing is, now you have 5 classes. Next thing is, what will be the length of those classes? That means class length, also known as class width, also known as class interval. What will be the interval of each of the classes? Now, the only thing that we have to consider while formulating a class, the classes should be non-overlapping. Okay, the classes have to be non-overlapping, because suppose if you do a data class like this, 45 to 55, then 55 to 65, then you have a data value which is in both of the classes, if they are inclusive classes. In that case, what happens that if you have a data value 55, you don't know in which class you're gonna record it. So এরকম ক্লাসেস তোমরা পাবে, তখন দেখবে আবার আলাদা করে একটা ইন্ডিকেশন দিয়ে দিতে হয়। যদি এরকম কন্টিনিউয়াস করে তখন বলে দেয় যে 55, সাপোজ 55 is in this class, that is the first class is inclusive of 55, second class is not inclusive, that is exclusive of 55. So এত ডেসক্রিপশন না দিয়ে বেটার হচ্ছে নন ওভারল্যাপিং ক্লাসেস ফর্মুলেট করা, so that they won't overlap, or there will be no double counting. So মাঝে মাঝে double counting হয়ে যায়. Next thing is, all the classes have to be equal in length. Okay, so that means if the length of this class is 10, this class has to be 10. All the classes length has to be equal. So these are the criteria of formulating class lengths. Any question? Okay, so we have a formula to calculate the class lengths, and the formula is highest value minus lowest value by number of class. So what is the highest value of this particular distribution?
$95.
93.
95.
95 is the highest value, yeah, and the lowest value?
46.
46, and we have taken the number of classes have to be 5. Now if you take 4, you will divide it by 4. It's according to your assumed number of classes. So here it comes, calculate করে বলো তো ক্লাস লেন্থটা কত হয়েছে?
9.8.
9.8. So we don't want to keep the class length as fraction, so it will be harder to count. Okay, so it's better if we round it up and take 10, the length as 10. And about when I should round up and when I should round off. Okay, even if it was 9.2, and if you round it off every time, you are skipping 20% of a data set, because it's not exactly 9, it's 9.2. So কি হবে, অনেক সময় তুমি যখন 5টা ক্লাস করবে এরকম করে স্টার্ট করেছো, and you have rounded it off, and every time you are cutting off 20% of the data, sometimes since you're cutting off data, sometimes it won't work with 5 classes. You will have to add one more class. If you have to add one more class, no problem about that. As I started with that, you have to record the data. That's the only thing that we are concerned about. So that's also fine. Again, that's why the data to be avoid korte chao, just round it up. If you round it up, it will always end, if your calculation is correct. If you round it up, it will always end with your assumed number of classes. Okay, কারণ এখানে কোনো ডেটা কাটিং হচ্ছে না। And again, যদি হয়ে যায়, then just add one more class or skip a class, that's fine. Okay, so this is how you have to assume the number of classes with a class length. Any question?
ম্যাম এর মানে আমাদের 9.2 থাকলে অলওয়েজ 10 মানে যেটা হায়ার ভ্যালুটা ধরতে হবে।
I'm not saying ধরতে হবে, ধরলে ভালো, রাউন্ড অফ করলেও সমস্যা নেই, মানে 9 নিলেও সমস্যা নেই, ঠিক আছে, as long as they are equal in length, equal হলেই হবে। Okay, so we have this data set. Now we will start our classes, and we will take 5 classes with a length of 10. Okay, so later we want to do histogram, ogive. So for that we want to make the classes continuous. So you can see I have taken a length of 10, 45.5 to 55.5. It's a length of 10, and I've started from 45.5, so my minimum value is 46, so it will be recorded in the first class. And the next class is 55.5 to 65.5. Now you could ask a question that that I have repeated the values 55.5, but in this case we can see it's a closed data set, so there will be no overlapping, there are no fractions in our data set, so that's fine.
ম্যাম 0.5 কেন?
আমরা একটু পরে হিস্টোগ্রাম করব, so we will have a continuous data value, মানে বারগুলো একসাথে থাকবে এই জন্য, ঠিক আছে। You can also take like this 46 to 55, that's also fine, yeah. 56 to 65 এটাও কিন্তু কারেক্ট। আর এগুলো তোমরা দেখবে, আর তোমাদের টেক্সট বুক আছে না, এখানে দেখবে যে অনেক রকম ভাবে ক্লাস ইন্টারভেল বানানো যায়। জাস্ট ফলো এনি ওয়ান অফ দ্যাম। Okay, so this is the class intervals with 5 classes, and you can see the highest value in my class interval is 95.5 and our highest value was 95. তো আমাদের সবগুলো ডেটা রেকর্ডেড হয়ে গেছে within 5 classes with the length 10. Any question in class length? Perfect. So now we will do question A and B in this table. Okay, so the first question is you have to do a frequency and relative frequency table. Any idea what's a frequency?
মানে কতবার একটা নাম্বার ঘটেছে?
Yes, frequency is the count of your data. So here we have a range of 45.5 to 55.5. So from your okay, let's not 55.5. So from the data set you will find how many data values are there in this range. So we can see there is only one data value in this range, which is 46. So the frequency of this column, sorry, so for this row is 1. Okay, so what is the frequency of the next row?
Three.
3, yeah. Next 3, then we have 2, 3 and 6. After you count the frequencies, you always take the total. If you take the total for this column, you will see 15. When you are writing a table, it's always a good practice to write the totals at the bottom of the table, so that the readers, they will have an overall idea. Okay, how many data values were there? Okay, 15, because the data readers won't have this table. They don't have the data set. They only see the way you represent your data. So if you don't keep the totals under the bottom of the table, ওদেরকে গুনতে হবে 1 plus 3 plus 2 এরকম করে গুনতে হবে, and it's not feasible, right? So you always have to keep the total at the bottom of the table. That's a standard way to write a table. Okay, so from the frequency distribution, that means is we can see that only one student scored between 45 to 55 and 6 students scored between 85.5 to 95.5. So what's your overall impression? How did these students do? Good or bad in this test?
Good.
Good. Overall, they did a better performance, a good performance, because we can see that most of the students, which are 6 students, they have scored above 85. So it's actually a high score. Their performance টা ভালো ছিল. So this is how you can make an representation. Suppose এখানে 6 না হয়ে 1 ছিল, then ওখানে 6 ছিল, তো বলতে পারবে যে এরা হয়তো খারাপ করেছে পরীক্ষায়. Okay. Next is relative frequency. কেউ কি জানি what is relative frequency? What is the relative frequency? এগুলো তো আমরা করে এসেছি, একটু মনে নেই relative frequency কি? Okay, relative frequency is the proportion of each class. This is the proportion of the observation that belongs to each class. Now, working with frequency, the problem is, suppose you don't have the total. Total নেই, তুমি বলেছো যে 6 students scored between 85 বা 6 students scored above 85. Now, if the reader doesn't have any idea in total how many students were there, আমি মেজরিটি কিভাবে হিসাব করি? আমি যখন দেখলাম ওকে out of 15, 16 students scored above 85, that means it's the majority, so obviously it's a good result. But if they don't have the idea what's the total, in that case they can't make that observation, because ওরা জানে না যেটা কি আসলে অনেক বেশি না কম. That is the problem with frequency. That's why we work with relative frequency. So we give the idea of the data in terms of percentage, then they can have an idea. And this is the proportion of each class. So we know the proportion of the first class, this will be 1 divided by the total. That is the formula to calculate proportion. So 15, it will be 0.07. In the next class, the frequency is 3. We will divide it by 15. So it will be 0.20. Okay, like this, calculate the relative frequency of the next 3 rows and then calculate the total of this column. Meanwhile, I will take the attendance. What is the relative frequency of the next row or next class?
0.0.
Then the next one?
0.20.
Hmm.
0.4.
0.40.
Yeah. So now we can have an idea that 40% students, and we can say it's a pretty high number who have scored above 85. So relative frequency, that was answer of A, the first 2 columns, constructor frequency and relative frequency table. And after you do the G,
ওটা তো 1.2 আসছে প্লাস করে রিলেটিভ ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি
isn't it 1?
Yes.
Yes, it is 1. Please check. আমি তো এটা পড়া আমি জানি. It's 1 হবে. And if you add the relative frequencies of each row, it will be equal to 1. So always do check after adding the relative frequencies, is it 1 or not. If it's not 1, that means there is some mistake in your calculation. It happens, একটু চেক করে দেখতে হবে. Next is cumulative frequency and relative cumulative frequency, and that is the answer of B. Cumulative frequency is the, could you please turn off your mic? Cumulative frequency is the addition of frequencies up to a certain class. Okay, addition of frequencies up to a certain class. Now, suppose we want to calculate the cumulative frequency of the first class. So we will add all the frequencies until the first class. Okay, that is how we calculate cumulative frequency. Now here, before the first class, there are no other classes. So the cumulative frequency of the first class is 1, because we will add all of the frequencies, and here we only have 1 frequency. So always in a frequency table, the value in the first cell of frequency and cumulative frequency, they will be always equal, because there are no data নেই. Now the cumulative frequency of the next cell will be the addition of the frequencies until that cell. So 1 plus 3, that will be 4. Okay, can you formulate the other 3? Can you calculate the other 3 cumulative frequencies?
Top is 6.
Perfect. Then
9.
Then 15. And since you're adding the frequencies, the total of the frequency and the cumulative frequencies final cell, they will be exactly equal. হ্যাঁ, এগুলো একটু চেক করে দেখতে হয় যখন ম্যাথ করবে এক্সামে. জাস্ট চেক ইট, ওকে ওরা সমান আছে, দেন ইটস ফাইন, দ্য ক্যালকুলেশন ইজ কারেক্ট. It's just for you. হ্যাঁ, এগুলো আবার আমাকে শো করতে হবে না যে this and these are equal. This is just for your convenience that the answer is right. Okay, so from cumulative frequency, we can have an overall idea what's the situation of that particular set. Suppose we can see from here, 6 students have scored less than 75.5, or you can also say 76 in this case. Okay, so অনেক সময় থাকে সাপোজ 75 হচ্ছে একটা কাট অফ ভ্যালু ফর আ গ্রেড। সাপোজ যারা 75 এর কম পেয়েছে, they are under a particular grade. So how many students got that grade? For that we have to add all the students who scored less than 75. That is actually given through cumulative frequency. Okay, so how many students scored more than 75? Hmm? 9, exactly.
9.
More than 75 there are 9 students. তো এটা তোমার ইচ্ছা, তুমি কিভাবে এই টেবিল পড়তে চাও, কিন্তু এই ক্লাসে এরকম কোনো ম্যাথ আসবে না যে কতজন স্টুডেন্ট এটার বেশি কম পেয়েছে। ইটস টোটালি আপ টু ইউ। And then the relative cumulative frequency, this is exactly like cumulative frequency, but this time you will add the relative frequencies. So the first relative cumulative frequency, obviously it will be exactly equal to the first cell. Then you will just keep adding them. Complete the column relative cumulative frequency, and in the final cell it should be 1. If you have calculated it, just turn on your mic and speak up.
Yes, ma'am, almost.
What did you say? So 0.27, 0.4 and 0.6. This is the relative cumulative frequency, and these are the answers of A and B. Any question? Okay, perfect. Next question is, you have to construct, question C, you have to construct a histogram and you have to comment on your findings. So question C is, you have to draw a histogram. Now on histogram, on the x-axis we will take the class interval, and on the y-axis we will take either frequency or relative frequency. Okay, so it's totally up to you with which frequency you want to work. You cannot take any form of cumulative frequency in histogram. Be very careful about that. Sometimes the students tends to work with cumulative and relative cumulative frequency in histogram, and এটা একদম জিরো পাবে, এখানে আর কিছু করার নেই, it's totally wrong. You have to use either frequency or relative frequency to construct a histogram. Am I clear about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, then 65.5. And suppose I want to work with frequency. So the frequencies are 1, 3, 2, 3 and 6. So the histogram, okay, so this is our origin 0. So now we will give a break because we will start from 45.5. This is the class, the first class, 45.5 to 55.5. Then we have the next class, which is 55.5 to 65.5. Okay, the third class, the fourth and the fifth. Next we have to plot the frequencies on the y-axis. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now in histogram we will just draw bars up to the corresponding frequency. Now for the first class we can see the frequency is 1, so we will draw a bar up to 1 representing that there was only one student who scored between 45.5 to 55.5. And always, since you will be clicking pictures of your answers and sending me those, do write the data values above the bar so it is representative enough. Next, for next one, we have the data value of 3, so we will draw a bar until 3, then 2, then again 3, then 6. So this is the histogram. Any question?
No, miss.
Okay. About the histogram, obviously তোমরা ফ্রি হ্যান্ড ড্র করবে, সো এখানে একটু ছোট বড় হবে, একটু বাঁকা টাকা হবে, তাতে সমস্যা নেই। কিন্তু আমি যেটা তোমার বেসিক, যেটা হচ্ছে এখানে যে হাইটটা আছে, দ্য হাইট অফ দিস বার, they show the frequency of the distribution, that what is the corresponding frequency of the particular class interval. And about the width of the distribution, okay, the width of each of these bar, they have to be equal in size, because these width, they represent the class intervals. We can see this is the class, and when we formulated the classes were equal in length. So যখন তুমি বার গুলো বানাবে, বার গুলো width গুলো একদম সমান হবে, representing equal class intervals. Am I clear about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this was histogram. From the histogram, you can the question was, you have to find comment on your findings. You can just comment that majority of the student majority, you can also, when you write majority, minority, most, maximum, minimum, always write the data value after that, so that you'll have your findings in your comment. Okay, so majority of the students scored between 85.5 to 95.5. Again, it's open. It's totally up to you how you want to comment on your findings. তোমার হয়তো এটা পছন্দ হয়নি, অন্য কিছু একটা বলতে চাচ্ছ, you can do it. Just make sure your data defends your comment. হ্যাঁ, ডেটা একটা কথা বলবে, কমেন্ট একটা কথা বলবে, এটা হবে না, সবাইকে সেম কথা বলতে হবে. And about the data, just cross check if they are correct or not. And I'm actually very particular about comments. হ্যাঁ, কমেন্ট ভুল হলে কিন্তু দেখবে কমেন্টে 2 মার্ক থেকে থাকে, আমি যখন কোয়েশ্চেন দিব তখন দেখবে 2 মার্কস 3 মার্কস কমেন্টে আছে, কমেন্ট ভুল তো একদম 0 পাবে। ওকে, okay, any question in histogram, how to do it, how to make a comment? তোমরা কি আজকে ঘুমাচ্ছ?
No, ma'am.
আচ্ছা, okay.
No, ma'am.
Next question. Thank you. Next question is, you have to construct an ogive and comment on your finding. So through histogram, we have represented our data using frequency and or relative frequency. Through ogive, we will use cumulative frequency. So in ogive, that is answer D. Ogive. So in ogive, we on the x-axis, we take the upper limit of each class. On the x-axis, we will plot the upper limit of each class. What does that mean? Suppose we have a class 1 to 5, 6 to 10. So we will only plot the upper limits, not the whole class, not the lower limit, only the upper limit. And on the y-axis, any idea what should we take in ogive? In ogive, জি কেউ কিছু বলবে?
ম্যাম অজয়টা কি লিখতে চান?
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে না আমি যে বলছিলাম এই সেন্সে যে অলরেডি আমরা এগুলো ইউজ করে ফেলেছি সো উই হ্যাভ কিউমুলেটিভ ফ্রিকোয়েন্সিজ লেফট দ্যাটস ইট on the y-axis we will take cumulative frequency or relative cumulative frequency. Be very careful while selecting your statistical measures. Do not use frequencies in ogive, again it will be wrong. Ogive is the instrument to represent the cumulative frequencies only. So if we go back to our table, পুরোটা লিখছি না, এখন আমি জাস্ট আপার লিমিটগুলো লিখছি এইট ক্লাসে। And suppose the relative actor, this is the class interval and the relative cumulative frequency. You don't have to write it again, I assume you already have in your, if you have a notebook then in a note, yeah. So on the x-axis we will plot the upper limit of each class. Now for the first class you have to plot the lower limit as well, so that you'll have a limit where did this data value started, data set started. So 45.5, next will be 55.5, 65.5, all the upper limits. Okay, and on the y-axis we will take the relative cumulative frequency. So far is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Now for
Ma'am,
the first
সেকেন্ডটা হচ্ছে 55.5 হবে না?
this one,
হিস্টোগ্রামে এটা
আমরা তো
56.5 দিয়েছেন নাকি 50?
no 55.5, 45 to 55. It's 55, the first class, this is the first class. Okay, so now against the upper limit of each class we will plot the relative cumulative frequency. Now for the first class the upper limit is 55.5 and the corresponding relative cumulative frequency is 0.07. So this is 55.5, the first upper limit of sorry suppose 0.2, 0.8 and then 1. Okay, so for the first class our relative cumulative frequency is 0.07, so we will go up to 0.7 and we will plot it. This is the relative cumulative frequency of the first class. Our second class was 55.5 to 65.5, and for that the cumulative frequency is 0.27. So 65.5 is the upper limit and the corresponding relative cumulative frequency is 0.27. Like this you have to plot all the relative cumulative frequencies. Plot it.
55.5 এ একবার ফোটা দিতে হবে and ইয়াতে একবার
সবগুলোর আপার লিমিটে একবার, এই যে এটা যদি আমাদের ক্লাস হয় এই যে সবগুলোর আপার লিমিটে। ওকে,
আচ্ছা আপার লিমিটে একবার আর একটা পয়েন্টে একবার যে
দিস ওয়ান, দুটোর কম্বিনেশনে একটা ডট হবে। Okay, for 95.5 obviously it's the relative cumulative frequency, so the last value will be 1, so this is our ogive. Now after you after you plot the data values, next thing is you will add it up. Okay, now while adding it up, make sure the ogive goes through all the data points. Data point এর মধ্যে দিয়ে যাবে, it's not a best fitted line, it has to go through all of them and it will end at the highest value, so that will show the highest value of the distribution. Next, we will have to make a comment. Suppose for 75.5 we got 0.40, and so this is 0.40, and I forgot to write the data values. Obviously you'll have to write it. 0.27, this is 0.07. So from this Ajay, how to give the comment. Suppose if I select this one 0.40, so the corresponding value is 75.5. So the comment will be 40% students scored less or equal to 75.5. If you want to take 60%, this one, you can say 60% student score less or equal to 85.5, because this is the addition until 85.5. So the comment will be 60% student scored less or equal to 85.5. Okay, so that's an ogive. Please ask if you have any question how to plot it, how to do the comment
ম্যাম
and
লাস্ট টাইমটা বুঝান
the comment.
হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ, সো কমেন্টের জন্য আমি যে কোনো একটা নিচ্ছি। সাপোজ ফর দিস ওয়ান, দিস ইজ 0.40। হ্যাঁ, সো এই 0.40 কিভাবে এসেছে? পুরো এরিয়াটার অ্যাডিশন না?
ইয়েস ম্যাম
Yes, so এরা কারা? These are the people who scored less or equal to 75.5. এটা তুমি গ্রাফ থেকেও দেখতে পারো, যেটাখানে করে তুমি যদি দেখো যে দিস ইজ দ্য এরিয়া আন্ডার 0.70, সো সরি 0.40। সো 40% স্টুডেন্ট কি করেছে? ওরা 75 পেয়েছে অথবা 75 থেকে কম পেয়েছে, এটাই লিখেছে 40%, or in this case I wrote 60% students scored less or equal to 85.5. তুমি যে ডেটা ভ্যালুটা comment
প্লট করে দেখাতে হবে নাকি জাস্ট কমেন্ট করলে হবে?
অজয় করেই তো কমেন্ট করবে।
ও আচ্ছা, এভাবে দেখাতে হবে তাহলে।
No, you don't have to show it like this. Just draw the ogive and then write the comment.
আচ্ছা
So no question about ogive. Great. So now can anyone tell me the ogive, the curve of ogive, can it go downwards? Can it be like this? The ogives?
No, ma'am.
No, why not?
ডাউনলোড
ম্যাম আরসিএফ এর ভ্যালু তো বাড়তেই থাকবে সবসময়ের জন্য।
Perfect, Sundar answer. It's the RCF or CF. These are actually addition of the frequencies, addition of the relative cumulative frequency. So frequencies are positive value. It's count data. আমরা কখনো count করি না -1, কতগুলো স্টুডেন্ট ছিল -20. Counts are never negative. The minimum value of count could be 0. Okay, so a graph will only go downwards if it's in the negative, it's less than 0 for frequencies. For frequencies it will go downwards. So since we are only adding the frequencies, it will always go up, and sometimes it can just make a plateau. এটা সমান থাকতে পারে। কিভাবে হতে পারে? ধরো তোমার ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি গুলো আছে 5, 6, 0, 6. So your cumulative frequency will be 5, 11, 11 and 17. সো যদি কখনো ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি 0 থাকে, এই ভ্যালুটা কনস্ট্যান্ট থেকে যাবে, কিন্তু নিচে যাবে না, কখনোই নিচে যাবে না। সো এটা যদি আমি প্লট করতাম, এটা কেমন হতো? ধরো 5, দেন 11, দেন এগেইন 11, দেন 17. So minimum value, since the minimum value is 0, it can be a constant value, a stable curve, yeah, but it won't go downwards, never. So whenever you have an ogive, exam দিচ্ছো, দেখছো তোমার ogive নিচের দিকে যাচ্ছে, তখনই বুঝবে যে এখানে কোনো ভুল আছে, আমি কিছু ভুল করছি। Am I clear about it, the ogive?
Yes, ma'am.
Select হচ্ছে না কেন? Okay. Then the last 3 questions, those are actually about the same topic, that is shape of a distribution. First, I will explain what's the shape of a distribution, then we will find out different methods how to find it out. Okay, shape of the distribution. So, a shape of a distribution. We have two types of distribution. One is symmetric, and the another one is asymmetric. Now, symmetric distribution is if you plot your data set, all the data values in a data set in a bell-shaped curve. In a bell-shaped curve, because this curve looks like a bell. In a bell-shaped curve, and if you cut this distribution through the middle value of this distribution. What is the middle value of a distribution?
50%.
Median.
Median.
Which
Median.
median is the middle value of a distribution. So if you cut a distribution through the middle value or the median of the distribution, and on both sides you have 50% of the observation. That means if you have total 100 data values, 50 will be on the lower half, remaining 50 will be in the upper half. So if you have a distribution like this, where it's equally distributed on both sides of median, that is called a symmetric distribution. Okay, that is a symmetric distribution. And this is also said that in this distribution there are no skewness. That means the data values are evenly distributed. কোনো দিকে কোনো ডেটা স্কিউ হয়ে নেই, সব দিকে এটা সমানভাবে ডিস্ট্রিবিউট করা আছে। Okay, and in a symmetric distribution setting, the three statistical measures, mean, median, and mode, they will be approximately equal. Usually they are exactly equal in a small data set setting, but if you have a large data set setting, you'll see that they will differ by 0.1, 0.2 এরকম একটা ছোট একটা ভ্যালুতে এটা ডিফার করে, but approximately these three measurements are truly equal in a symmetric distribution setting. And we can also find out symmetric distribution through a box plot. So if you do a box plot, you will see that the Q2 is exactly at the middle of the distribution. আজকে আমরা বক্স প্লট করেছি, বক্স প্লট করার পরে দেখবি কি দুটো সাইডে একদম সমান দেখাচ্ছে, exactly equal. And to find out that, we can take the difference from the box plot. We will take the difference between Q3 minus Q2. Q3 minus Q2 will represent this area, and it will be exactly equal as Q2 minus Q1, which is this area. এটা দেখেও তুমি বুঝবে যে আচ্ছা আমাদের দুই সাইড সমান আছে, that means this is a symmetric distribution. So there are so many ways you can do a bell-shaped curve, you can use a box plot, and again we have a formula to calculate the skewness of the distribution. So any question, what's a symmetric distribution? Anything? Okay, so the example of symmetric distribution is actually the physical data. Like if we work with height of the individuals or height of the students in this class, we'll always see that most of the individual, they are between 5 to 6 feet. বাংলাদেশের সেটিং এ যদি আমরা কথা বলি, most of the observation, they are between 5 to 6 feet. There will be very less number of people who are above 6 feet, or very lower number of people who are less than 5 feet. So যখন আমরা ফিজিক্যাল ডেটা গুলো নিয়ে কাজ করি, যেমন হচ্ছে হাইট, ওয়েট, IQ score, this actually represents symmetric distribution. And এটা একটা মজার সেটিং যে তুমি যত ডেটা অ্যাড করবে আস্তে আস্তে দেখবে ডেটাটা ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনটা আস্তে আস্তে নর্মাল ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনে চলে যায়। আমরা এটার একটা গ্রাফ দেখবো আমাদের নর্মাল ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনে, যেরকম একটা বেল শেপড কার্ভ হয়ে যায়। আচ্ছা, ওকে, এনি কোয়েশ্চেন ইন সিমেট্রিক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন? ইউ ক্যান সে নো, যে না কোয়েশ্চেন নেই।
Yes,
জি বলো।
আমাদের কি নর্মাল ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন আছে?
জি, তোমাদের নর্মাল ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন আছে।
ডেটা নিয়ে যে খুঁজে খুঁজে
হুম? Next we have asymmetric distribution. This time we will divide the data through the middle of the distribution and we will see they are not equally distributed. Okay, if it says asymmetric distribution, there are two possibilities. First one is a positively skewed distribution and the another one is a negatively skewed distribution. Okay, so first I want to discuss a positively skewed distribution. Now this is like a positively skewed distribution looks. If you have a distribution and you have drawn a bell-shaped curve, and if you cut through the median of the distribution, you will see that the distribution is not equally distributed on both sides of median. We can obviously see here we have more observations in the lower half, and here we have less number of observations in the upper half. So this type of distribution, they are called positively skewed. Positively skewed, why? Because if we compare it with a real number line, these are the positive values. So tailটা এটা ওকে, এই যেখানে একটা ছোট একটা আছে কার্ভ আছে যেটা কম ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি শো করছে। So this type of shapes, they are called the tail of the distribution. এটা ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনের লেজটা যদি রাইট সাইডে হয়, that is called positively skewed distribution. And in a positively skewed distribution, the mean is the highest value, then we have the median, and then we have the mode. So you can also find out from mean, median and mode whether it's a positively skewed distribution or not. If this statement holds, in that case it will be a positive distribution, positively skewed distribution. And from the box plot setting, you will see a box plot like this. In this case, Q3 minus Q2, that means this one, this area is greater than Q2 minus Q1, that means this area. এই টাইপের যদি একটা বক্স প্লট দেখতে পাও তাহলে বুঝবে যে it's a positively skewed distribution. That means obviously there are outliers or tail on the right side. Okay, so এটার এক্সাম্পল আমরা দিতে পারি, সাপোজ কোর্স অফ আ হার্ড টেস্ট, একটা কঠিন আমি একটা কোয়েশ্চেন সেট করলাম। সো ইউ উইল সি দ্যাট low number of students, very lower number of observation, they will score better, because কিছু স্টুডেন্ট থাকে, স্টুডেন্টরা সবাই অনেক বেশি পড়াশোনা করে না, কিছু স্টুডেন্ট থাকে যারা অনেক পড়াশোনা করে, they work hard, they if it's a really hard test they will score better, and the remaining of the students or more students will score in the lower half. So in this kind of setting you will see a positively skewed distribution. Any question?
No, ma'am.
Last one is negatively skewed distribution, which is exactly opposite of positive. This time if you draw the well-shaped curve, you will see that the tail is on the left side, and in this setting the mean is the lowest value, then the median, and then the mode. If this statement holds, this is a negatively skewed distribution. And if you do the box plot, you will see a box plot like this. Okay, so this is the setting of a negatively skewed distribution, and if you want to look at an example, this could be the test scores of an easy test. Easy test হলে বেশি অনেক বেশি স্টুডেন্ট ওরা অনেক ভালো মার্কস পাবে, so this is higher frequency, and these are lower frequencies. These are the students they won't study at all no matter what is the question, so these are the students representing a very lower portion of the whole distribution. So তোমাদের কাজ হচ্ছে either you will use a bell shaped curve or a box plot that we have already learned, and just to find out if there is any skewness in the data, and if there is skewness, then what type of skewness it is. So our first question was to find out, construct a histogram and comment on the shape of the distribution. We already have a histogram. Yeah, okay, this is the histogram. Can anyone tell me what type of skewness is it? Is it
Negative.
negative?
Negative disk.
এটা নেগেটিভ। Now we can draw a bell shaped curve. হ্যাঁ, একটা রাফলি একটা কার্ভ আঁকা যায় from কি জানি বলেছি histogram, and you will see the tail, because lower observation, they are in the left side of our particular distribution and this histogram of this histogram, so this will be a negatively skewed distribution. Okay, that is the answer of that question. You don't have to do the histogram again, just draw the bell shaped curve on your existent histogram and say that number E, it's a negatively skewed distribution. And about G, F টা আমি একটু পরে করছি এটা। Number G, here you have to construct a box plot and comment on the shape of the distribution. Please note that all of the questions, they won't come together. These are different possibilities that you might face while finding out the shape of distribution. These are different questions just given in one question. So you have to construct a box plot. For this question, I'm giving out the box plots. Usually দেওয়া থাকবে না। 89. Use these 3 quartiles and then find out the distribution, the shape of the distribution. Obviously, you're working with the same data. If you do the box plot, you will find that it will be a negatively skewed distribution. That is your homework. Box plot করতে পারবে না?
Yes, ma'am.
From Q1, Q2, Q3, you have to find out upper and lower limit. So using those, you will do the box plot. The last question is compute skewness and comment on the shape of the distribution. So this time we have to use a formula. The formula of skewness is 3 into mean minus median by standard deviation. এটাও আমি দিয়ে দিচ্ছি, যদি তোমাদেরকে মিন মিডিয়ান এগুলো বের করতে হয় তাহলে এত বড় ডেটা সেট থাকবে না। Here we are working with 15 data values. Obviously, if you have to find out the mean, median and all, you won't be given 15 data values. আরো কম থাকবে, হয়তো 7-8টা করে থাকবে, কারণ standard deviation, it's a long task. You have to find the square distances. So একটা জাস্ট আমি একটা ম্যাথ করাচ্ছি দেখে একটা থেকেই আসছে, but usually you'll have a small data set if you have to compute the skewness. So in this setting, in this question, the mean is 75.80. I hope from the previous class you already know how to calculate mean, median and standard deviation. If no, in that case, please speak up. And the standard deviation is 15.69, and the skewness came minus 0.42. Okay, So how to make a comment? কেউ বলতে পারবে এই ভ্যালুটা দেখে কি টাইপের ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন হবে and কেন?
Negative.
Perfect. It's a negative distribution. Huh? কি করলাম? The range of skewness is -3 to +3. এর মধ্যেই থাকবে skewness এর ভ্যালুটা. A negative value represents a negative distribution and a positive value represents a positive distribution. But can anyone tell me if the value comes 0, what type of distribution is it?
It is symmetric.
Yes, it's a symmetric distribution because তোমরা দেখতে পারো in a symmetric setting the mean median they are actually equal. So equation এ তুমি যদি mean আর median একদম same বসিয়ে দাও, both are suppose 80, then it will be 0. That's a symmetric distribution. এটা একটু ভালো করে পড়বে এই পোরশনটা, তখন দেখবে সিমেট্রি বের করার অনেক ওয়ে আছে। So if it's 0, the calculated value, then it's a symmetric distribution. There means no skewness in the data. If skewness comes a positive value after calculation, so it's a positively skewed distribution. And if the skewness comes negative, then it's a negatively skewed distribution. Okay. So from our finding, we found out that it's negative 4.42. So it's a negatively skewed distribution. Okay. So this is how we can find the shape of a distribution, either box plot অথবা একটা formula অথবা একটা histogram. Any question? Okay. I assume there are no other question. In that case, thank you so much. Your attendance is given, and tomorrow you have a makeup class.